This podcast is brought to you by iPlayHockey.ca. iPlay is the leading hockey insurance provider to coaches, camp instructors, spring and summer hockey leagues, and tournaments across Canada. If you need insurance for hockey, iPlay has you covered. iPlay also provides hockey players and coaches with a wide range of free tools, drills, and skills in their drill vault to enhance on-ice performance, and they provide crucial off-ice knowledge as well. So if you need insurance for a hockey team, league, or camp, or if you just want to teach your kids some new drills, head on over to iPlayHockey.ca and check out their new website. Canada wins 5-1 over Switzerland today, guys, and we're going to talk about it. Welcome to episode 268 of the Boys in the Booth podcast. Chad Melbourne, joined by Casey Abrams, and no Harper Cody tonight, but filling in for him and following up NHL Hall of Famer Jeremy Roenick, and also Matt Murley from the Spit and Chicklets spinoff Game Notes. Adam James, tough shoes to fill there, kid. How's it going?
Good, man. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's tough to follow, but I'll try my best.
Some big shoes to fill with Harper alone, but let alone those two. Holy, you must be a pretty important guest here. All right,
we
boys.
We're on a roll with guests, so we thought we'd fill in with a Hall of Famer from the Boys in the Booth Classic, also known as the Pepsi Cup.
There you go. That's how you tie it in.
The guy hasn't played ice hockey in like 6 years.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, boys. I wanted to. We're just going to talk about this game. This is the post-game show. We're just going to get into it. Anything that's on your mind from the game that was this afternoon, we want to hear about it. First thing I got to say right out of the gate, I noticed Denis Malgin on the ice, and I was shivering in my boots when he went down on a 2-on-1. I thought he was going to score in his first shift of the game. I was so nervous. That's my biggest takeaway from Canada versus Switzerland. How about you guys?
I feel like that comment is a lot more relevant if you're frequently in the Boys in the Booth group chat. I feel like Denis Malgin comes up just far too frequently in there, mostly Chad talking about him and how he would have been an all-star Hall of Famer if he stuck with the Leafs and yada yada yada. But no, I kind of feel like watching this game, it was evident that this is both teams' second game, and Switzerland came out looking really good, flying and matching the physicality of Canada more so than Czechia, who came out kind of flat. I don't think they were really expecting to get run over by Team Canada over and over again. But man, early on, it looked good. McDavid, again, laying a big hit, actually shaking the guy up. And then retaliation bit him in the ass later. Timo Meier blowing him up. I could hear so much sphincter puckering in Edmonton when that hit happened, because he's looking behind him. It was kind of high, flattened him. And then Meier goes down and lays a big hit on Reinhart too. It's like, all right, we're in this tournament. It's no more, getting loose and getting used to it. This is it now.
Yeah. Okay. Let's stick on McDavid. Adam, what did you think about McDavid in that game? He was all over the ice.
Yeah, his speed is just like, it's so crazy to see, especially like on the Olympic stage there. He's just like I think in the second period he had that shift where he just flies by the guy, and like you can see it's like the movies or the shows, like his jersey is like rippling behind him because he's just going so fast. Like he's just untouchable out there. It's crazy.
There's nobody that looks like him.
No.
And there was one moment specifically that he was kind of like, it was an awkward play, a turnover, battling through two defenders, like getting tied up by both of them, but he got the puck beyond them. And in Mario Kart, when you go off the course and you're like going slow, and then as soon as you get back on the course, you take off. It was just like that. Like, I think the announcer said, and McDavid finally going downhill or something like that. And he just had like a burst of speed after. I'm like, man, the acceleration is just ridiculous. And you're right. Like, no one else looks like that out there. And my brother, he's watching more hockey than ever lately, but not as much of a fan as we are. He's like, I can't keep up. I just can't keep up with Connor McDavid, like watching him. And it's like, yeah, he's playing a different sport.
And he clearly had that shoot first mentality tonight again, which I was talking about how he had in the Czechia game, where he gets the puck, he's laser focused, and everything is towards the net, whether it's a pass to the slot or a shot, even from the outside. Like, he had some dangerous chances tonight. Obviously, gets the power play goal to kick it off in the first period, and yeah, he was just electric. I gotta say too, while we're talking about McDavid, is it's so interesting seeing him wear an A, because obviously he's worn the C in Edmonton for so long. I found a stat, or I saw someone tweet a stat about Sidney Crosby, the last time that he played a game without a C on his jersey. Do you guys see the same thing?
No.
So someone tweeted, you ever think about how Sidney Crosby hasn't played a game without a C on his chest since the golden goal in 2010? That was 17 years ago. And Jay Fresh responds, and he says, if I'm counting right, that's 1,250 straight games for Sid with a captain C across the NHL, the Olympics, the World Cup, Four Nations, and World Championships since he scored the golden goal. So I just thought that was insane. And it made me think of Connor McDavid wearing an A, how weird it is to see that.
He wasn't wearing the C for Pittsburgh at that time?
I guess that would believe so. Yeah.
I guess that doesn't matter in that stat. That's pretty mind-blowing. That's a long time. But it only feels right. Like, there's no way you can't have Crosby. He'll probably wear the C at the next Olympics too, 44 years old or whatever. But
100%.
Yeah.
Man, 40 or how old? 43. McDavid, there's something I wanted to point out about him, and I just wanted to play a little game here. Who can guess? Like, how much you noticed him on the ice and how he was in every play, a goal and 2 assists, tons of shots, like laying the body. Cuthbert at one point said he's trying to lead the tournament in points and hits. How much time on ice do you think he had in that game?
Okay, I heard in the third period, he was at about 15 minutes, and Mark Stone had more. I think that's what I heard.
Okay.
Adam,
any guesses?
I heard it as well. I think he was under 15 minutes. Like, he's like high 14, right?
He played 14-22 in that game. That is a third line player. But two things I wanted to point out bringing that up. First of all, it felt like he played 22 minutes. Just how involved he was every single time he was on the ice. But also just pointing out that John Cooper is really rolling everyone out on the ice, all 13 forwards, just getting everyone out there, everyone getting, in the mix, getting their feet wet. And I think it's really going to help down the road. You're looking at, Team Canada players, no forward played 20 minutes in that game. The highest player was Makar at 21:55. You look at Switzerland, there's several forwards playing over 20 minutes. Hischier played 21:28. Fiala played 20 before going down with the injury. Yossi played 26:44. They're really relying on these top players to play just so much. And, when it comes time for medal rounds and quarterfinals, I think there's maybe going to be a little bit of wear and tear there. And these guys are going to be fresh. And I'm looking at Connor McDavid playing 14-22 in a game. When was the last time Connor McDavid played 14-22 in a hockey game?
Literally never. Maybe in a period, but in a game, that's insane.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, I was thinking season when he got hurt. That would be the last time.
Yeah. Case, I was thinking about that when Cece said it on the broadcast, and that he was under 15 minutes at the time. And like, that's got to do something to the morale of the team, right? Like, if you're used to playing, and all of these guys are like over 20 minutes a night on their respective NHL clubs, right? When you get to the 14-minute mark in your ice time and the game is over, aren't you just kind of looking around thinking like, boys, I got a lot more to give here. Like, that's a good sign, right? Like, when everybody on the team feels like that.
I think it's more like, I'm only playing 16 minutes tonight. I can absolutely burn every ounce of gas in the tank every single time I'm out there.
Well, exactly. And that was kind of the point I was making, is that guys are looking around like, hey, we can just keep doing this. Like, this is working.
Yeah.
It's nuts for him to play that little and to be that impactful. And I feel like we've been burying the lead here, guys, but segueing from McDavid, let's talk about the line that was formed with him, Celebrini, and Nathan MacKinnon. What did you guys make of that line, which was absolutely dynamic since they got together about halfway through the game?
I mean, it was instant that they scored when they put them together. And I think, again, CC on the broadcast said, "Oh, John Cooper, he might have found something here." It's like, oh, do you think putting three of the best players in the world on one line is like, it's not rocket science for sure to put them out and see something happen. But I think it's interesting having MacKinnon on the wing, because now you can just have that winger north-south speed that I talked about last episode, how he's just one track mind with that guy. It might be even easier for him on the wing to do that. You can hit him in stride and let him do his magic. But I mean, you got three just outer-worldly players on that line now. And I mean, a goal and 2 assists, a goal and 2 assists, a goal and an assist.
BetterHelp is the paid partner of this video. The new year is a blank space for you to write a new story. BetterHelp makes it more convenient to get you started. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy more comfortable and convenient. They carefully make sure therapists on the platform are well qualified, and their customer support team is there to help you if you have any questions. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.5 rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is a platform you can trust. Your next chapter starts today. Get 10% off your first month of BetterHelp online therapy at betterhelp.com/boysinthebooth in paid partnership with BetterHelp.
Speaks for itself.
It was crazy. And I think Coop put them together after a PK shift. Like once the team got even strength, and CC mentioned, loading up the lines here. And then that line just stuck, for the rest of the game. They score instantly, like you said. And I think it was the 5th goal, the very final goal, that was just insane. When Celebrini comes out of the box, goes like a hound dog into the offensive zone, strips the puck in a little board battle, and then makes the quick little through pass to McDavid, who does the toe drag and tries to put it on net, creates a rebound, and MacKinnon just buries it. Like, that goal was an absolute work of beauty from those three guys, but particularly Macklin Celebrini, who just made the incredible effort out of the box to make up for his mistakes, just to be a dog on a bone in the offensive zone, and totally created that. Like I said it last episode, and like I just can't believe he's 19 years old.
He's incredible. And when I watched him come out of the box like that, same thing as like what talking about McDavid. Obviously, he's not as like fast or whatever, but he's just flying down the wing. You're like, oh my god, like something's got to happen here. And then after they scored the goal, they showed like this camera angle from maybe the net or behind the net, and you see him flying down, you see him battling, and then you just see these two dogs, MacKinnon and McDavid, flying down the ice to come help them, and then bang, it's in the back of their net.
Oh yeah, like they're just barking.
I like that they put that line together, and I think that should stick. It does take away, we've talked about the inability to line match when, Switzerland is playing Jonas Siegenthaler against McDavid all the time, or, they're playing their top players 21 minutes a night to try to keep up and line match. It just opens the opportunity to line match a little bit more. But I mean, at the end of the day, what defensive line are you possibly going to put out to defend against them? And you still have, the Marner, Stone, Crosby line, and it's really something. And then it does build a Suzuki, Hagel, Wilson. Like that's a great defensive line. They're not going to make any mistakes. They're going to get the puck deep and bang around and create chances. Hagel is just such an underrated player. The amount of chances he creates, just being in the right space at all times.
He just does things right, honestly, all the time. And he works so hard. Okay, so Brad Marchand out today with what seems to be bit of a lingering injury, maybe a flare-up, something to that effect. And Logan Thompson made the start today instead of Jordan Binnington, who got the shutout in Game 1 against Czechia. What'd you make of Seth Jarvis coming into the lineup? Not in the way that we expected or talked about last episode, Case, but he was filling in for Marchand. But what did you make of those two guys and their roles in the lineup today?
Yeah, I think that, Jarvis definitely made the best of his opportunity. Didn't make any mistakes, which is kind of the number one thing he has to do when he's out there. And then also had that quick burst of speed, got in on a breakaway and just missed his chance, but just showing that he can create the offense really on his own. But if they feel like they want to put him out with a Reinhardt or with, you even slot him onto that McDavid line, why not? Like, he's going to contribute and keep up and be so good. Like, obviously he's a star on his team still and playing really well in the NHL this year. So good to see him get the chance. Nothing special. I'm not saying like, oh, he needs to stay in the lineup like I was with Bo Horvat, but I would say good enough. And then in terms of LT, like, he looked good in net, but I still think that Binner gets the nod. Like, he wowed me a little more, I guess.
Yeah. One thing I noticed about Logan Thompson is that he makes it very obvious how good at playing the puck Jordan Binnington is, because LT is just, he's fine. He's an average puck handling goalie, right? But Binnington, like, he's slowing everything down. He's making crisp passes. Like, it just made me appreciate how good of a puck mover he is. And then in terms of Jarvis, I know, like, I'm kind of painting myself into a corner here, and people are going to think that I hate Sam Bennett. I really don't. Well, I kind of do because I'm a Leaf fan, but I don't on Team Canada because he's a great player. But I think Jarvis was better than him today. I really do. Like, Adam, who did you like more, Bennett or Jarvis today?
This podcast is sponsored by SeatGeek, the absolute best ticket app out there. SeatGeek takes the confusion out of buying tickets, making it quick and easy to get the best deals to tickets at your favorite sporting event. SeatGeek does this awesome thing where they score each ticket out of 10 based on its value, so you know whether you're getting a good or a bad deal. Last time I got tickets to see the Devils play, I first saw red tickets. I waited it out, monitored the price in-app, and once I saw green, I pulled the trigger. SeatGeek makes it that easy. And here's the best part. SeatGeek has completely hooked us up. Boys in the Booth listeners get $20 off their first purchase on SeatGeek with the promo code BOYSINTHEBOOTH in all caps. Click the link in our description to download the app, and remember to get your discounted tickets using the code BOYSINTHEBOOTH in all caps. Get great seats for a fraction of the cost with SeatGeek.
I like Jarvis in the long run. I thought Jarvis, he had a little bit of a slow start, but obviously, like, first Olympic Games too, so you got to put that into factor. But like Kay said too, those bursts of speed, getting in on the forecheck and just pure battling. Like, I was a little on the fence about him at the start. I was one of those guys, but he's a good player and he battles hard, and it's, yeah, like Kay said too, like, it's not like, oh, I need him there, but if he's there, I'm not mad.
Yeah, I'm going to sound maybe a bit more like a Sam Bennett lover. I'm on the other side of the spectrum here. Seth Jones, I think I noticed him for 2.5, 3 minutes
Jarvis.
of the ice time. Or Seth Jones, I noticed him tonight.
Seth
Jarvis,
Jones.
I noticed him for 2 or 3 of the minutes he got, and otherwise he kind of flew under the radar. Was another player out there. I feel like I constantly am aware of Sam Bennett on the ice, and it's not just him trying to kill the captain of my favorite team. It's because Sam Bennett's going to Sam Bennett. It is his back support, his back pressure, his defensive play. I think I saw him pick off 3 passes in one shift and just kind of constantly in the mix, throwing his body, getting the puck retriever, just a number 1 puck retriever on the team. And I think that it's more valuable in the bottom 6 than maybe Seth Jarvis. Seth Jarvis is a top 6 player, but there's only 6 spots on this team.
Hayes, you would not be a self-proclaimed Sam Bennett lover if he connected on that hit at center ice with Nico Hischier. Boy, that was close.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the way they were all reacting in the stands, throwing beer on the ice, and the way the coach was freaking out, I thought he clipped his head like with an elbow or something. They showed the replay, and I was like, oh, I mean, he clipped him a bit with a stick. But if he connected with the hit the way he meant to, oh, that would have been bad. I mean, I would feel like how Edmonton felt watching McDavid and how LA feels watching Kevin Fiala, and I don't know, maybe that's the next thing that we segue into here.
We'll get to Fiala. I did want to just mention on the Bennett hit, like George Peros is dealing with the Olympic Committee here. They're working in tandem with the director of player safety. So it's Bennett. He wouldn't have been suspended at all for that hit, even if it was the dirtiest thing ever, because he's a Florida Panther and they don't get suspended. So just had to get that in there.
Oh.
But yes, we have to transition. Kevin Fiala, terrible, terrible stuff happened with less than 3 minutes to go in the game. Like, to be stretchered off the ice and to not even be able to flip over onto his back to get off of the ice, like, that was just a scary scene. Happened with, of course, Tom Wilson, who didn't play another shift for the rest of the game for good reason, didn't want to get jumped or whatever, but wasn't his fault. I thought it was just an unfortunate play. They got tangled up. What did you guys make of the situation? Poor Fiala.
Adam.
Yeah, no, I agree. It just this regular hit along the boards. Like Tom Wilson's just trying to do his job and make a hit, and it's just very, very unfortunate. You could see players from both sides, like Canada and the Swiss, just how they felt for him and how bad they felt seeing him down like that, not being able, like you said, Chad, not being able to even flip over. So very unfortunate. Hopefully, it's nothing crazy serious. I don't know if it's came out anything about the injury yet, but yeah, it's
I haven't heard
sad
anything.
scene.
Yeah, I also think that it was not malicious in any way. I mean, Tom Wilson's playing physical, but not even trying to hit him there, more so trying to tie him up on the boards, and they get tangled up, fall, and his legs just underneath him. And I want to say it was Elliot Friedman after the game was pointing out Nico Hischier giving Wilson the tap on the pads after the game, kind of saying like, we know.
Yeah.
But I just like, I had to point that out as more relevant to watching the game with Rebecca. I was like, she's like, oh, well, I mean, I don't really think he meant to, like, no one really thinks that, right? And I was like, well, that is a guy who is notorious for hurting people in the NHL. So
Yeah.
You are always thinking that when he's involved, but you could see that, I mean, he didn't feel very good about what happened. The players weren't like yelling or mad at him. Everyone was just kind of holding their breath for Fiala. And yeah, it's tough that, you know, he's likely going to miss the rest of the Olympics the way it looks. And also like LA fighting for a playoff spot just picked up here. And this is tough.
It's worst case scenario because I thought Fiala was one of their most dangerous players too for Switzerland out there. Like, he looked great today. And there's the connection with him and Hischier. They're mentioning on the broadcast that they played together in the Swiss program for the longest time growing up, right? So there's all of that. They look great. And yeah, tough break for the Swiss and even tougher for the LA Kings, as you mentioned, Case. Wanted to mention too, like, that was, I mean, I know there was less than 3 minutes left in the game, but for me, that was kind of a turning point in terms of the crowd's energy, obviously. But even when it was 5-1, like, the crowd was still rocking. I have to mention the Swiss crowd that was there. They were saying on the broadcast it was about 60-40 Swiss Canadian. And boy, you could tell, like, they were chanting, they were going nuts. Like, they really showed up for their team. And it's just European sports, man. Like, European crowds just show up for their teams and they do the chants. They've got them all memorized. Like, it's just amazing. What do you guys make of the crowd?
I love the chants. When the chants get going, that's one of the most electric things that you can have in sports, is when a whole, like, you're cheering for that one team, everyone, and the chants just start going. I love that. But I agree. Like, I don't even know if, like, I didn't even sound 60-40 because the Swiss fans were so loud. I thought it might even be more than that. But so far, every game I've watched in the Olympics, have the crowds have been really, really good, and it's awesome to see, especially after I know Olympics is a lot different, but after the World Juniors being so light, it's nice to see these big crowds and just how loud it is and just a great atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, even the speed skating, like those crowds are electric. Every time I'm
Oh yeah.
watching, they're so into it, especially the Dutch crowd. It's just a sea of orange every time there's speed skating because that's what they do. But um, yeah, it's a lot like a soccer game, really. And watching the Prem, like every team, the fans have a chant for every player, let alone like several chants for the team. They have a chant for every player, and it's just memorized by everyone. Everyone's involved. They always dress up crazy too in these hockey games, not in the soccer games. They're pretty low key on that. But in the hockey games, like they cut to the Swedish crowd and they're dressed as Vikings and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, love this. Yeah, I really they felt involved, and especially when Timo Meyer was running around like a bowling ball out there, like every
Yeah.
hit they're blowing up. And it's kind of just something I wanted to talk about is that Timo Meyer, who felt has kind of been a bit of a shell of himself this year in the NHL.
Yeah.
He was the most noticeable player on the ice for the Swiss, just laying the body, trying to get the puck on net at all times, always involved. Maybe outside of Roman Josi, who played 26 minutes, Meyer just stood out, and I hope that he brings some of that back to the NHL after this tournament.
We interrupt this podcast to tell you about one of our favorite partners, Sign Up Expert. If you're a sports bettor, whether brand new, casual, or hardcore, listen very carefully because this ad is for you. Guys, line shopping for the best odds matters, and that's why any profitable sports bettor needs to be using multiple sports books to maximize their profits. Thankfully, there has never been a better time to get signed up, and we are here to connect you with the best promotions industry-wide. When you use our link at signupexpert.com/boysinthebooth, you can get access to all of the top sportsbooks in your region, along with a review of each platform and its unique benefits. Most importantly, all of these sportsbooks have valuable sign-up offers for new users. And when you register through our link, you will automatically receive the top offer at each one, allowing you to start line shopping with an enhanced bankroll. Guys, it's simple. When you use multiple sportsbooks, you ensure that you can always access the best available odds, which is key to successful and profitable sports betting. So, if you want to take advantage of these incredible benefits and support our brand at the same time, please consider signing up for your next sportsbook through our link in the description below, signupexpert.com/boysinthebooth. If you're planning on signing up for a new sportsbook anyways, you might as well use our link and support the boys. So, one more time, that's signupexpert.com/boysinthebooth.
Yeah, he looked like a man possessed, really. Like, and he's a bowling ball out there.
Yeah.
Like he really is. Like just the way he plays, he's a bowl in a china shop. I loved his game today. I got one more thing I wanted to bring up, guys. Was last game we were talking about the line combinations, and one of the lines that we really liked but weren't sure if it was going to last was the Marner, Stone, Crosby line. And tonight, honestly, like, even though we really liked them last game, I didn't think they had much going for them until the goal. And it makes you realize how special of a player, Adam, this is your guy, Mitch Marner. I know you're a big Mitch Marner fan. It makes you realize how special of a player Mitch Marner is when he drops a dime to Sid in such a beautiful moment and is able to just make plays out there that other players don't see. And I had a moment with myself watching this game today thinking like, boy, could use some of that skill in Toronto. Like that guy, like the little quick seam passes he makes, like, controlling possession, avoiding hits. Like, we talk about no one looks like McDavid. Well, I think there's a similar element to Marner's game where, like, he's not necessarily a small player. He doesn't play with a ton of speed, but like he just, the way he kind of just shimmies around guys, like there's not many players in the league who play the way he does. And yeah, I was just in awe of the player today because I thought he had a great game. But up until that goal, I didn't think they had much going for them. But after that goal, I thought they were pretty good.
The way I can compare Marner is to when you're playing EASHL on NHL or I guess any NHL video game, kind of how you put the puck out to the side. You're not moving your feet at all. You're not even stick handling. You just have it out to the side, but you can see everyone on the ice. So you just kind of spin and hit a guy backdoor or like, at the high slot or on the point, wherever. That's like Marner. He's never moving very fast. He's never making very many moves like McDavid does in the corner. He makes 1,700 stick handles in a second.
Yeah.
Marner's just kind of like controller dead and then pinpoint pass to a guy who's barely open for a backdoor tap in. It's like, he's very gifted. No one sees the ice quite like him. And I kind of wish I could go back in time and get them to trade him to Pittsburgh. I know that fit doesn't make a ton of sense, but I just love to see him playing with Crosby all the time.
Yeah.
The craziest thing
Adam,
about
thoughts
that
on your boy?
goal, the craziest thing about that goal was like watching it live. I thought he shot the puck and he scored. It was such a sneaky little pass. And they're like, "Oh, Crosby scored that." And I'm thinking like, "Oh, he must have tipped it." And just watching him feed that pass through the legs right to his tape and just Crosby gets to tap it in. But the thing for me tonight or like today was Marner's, very skillful, but like he's out there battling. He's working hard, he's forechecking, like he's doing the right things, it seems like, in this Olympics. So it's really nice to see.
Yeah, I thought he was particularly good today, even though I didn't think his line worked very well together at 5-on-5 till they scored that goal. I thought him and Celebrini actually on the second power play were really good together, creating chances. And I think Celebrini hit a post from a Marner pass. So that was, they were generating there. Couple more quick things that I just noted down when I was taking notes watching the game. Sam Bennett, case back to your boy, knows how to draw a penalty. So that's, good on him. And then also got to mention that LT made a huge save at the end of the second period with his glove, his offhand glove, because he catches with his right. And I just thought it was so funny. The broadcast flashed right to Jordan Binnington right after. Do you guys notice both of those moments, Bennett drawing the penalty and then the flash to Binnington on the camera?
Well, first of all, Bennett drawing penalties, you might as well put an assist in the column for him if he does that, because this power play has been pretty automatic and just keep drawing penalties for them. But the glove save, I did notice. Quick cut to Binner, and I don't know, he looks unfazed. You got that clip.
He's not
ready?
nervous. Yeah,
I'm not nervous. I don't
Wait,
know.
I might have it.
He didn't seem too worried.
I don't think he's blinked since he got to Italy.
That too, honestly.
Wait, did you guys see the clip of him on the back of a golf cart riding?
Yeah.
The two goalies were in the golf cart and he was just staring down the barrel of the camera. So good.
Yeah, no. Something just talking about that southpaw goalie. Luke brought this up when we were watching. He talked about an interview with Dylan Strome where they were talking about how Washington has the worst record in the shootout. Mm-hmm. And he mentioned it's because, this is what they talked about, is because both their goalies are southpaw. They practice on southpaw goalies. They practice the shootout on
Charlie
southpaw
Lindgren.
Goalies. And then they get into a game and it's completely different. It's wrong. It's the opposite side. So your move that you've gotten down pat in practice is irrelevant.
That is so interesting. I never thought about the fact that they have two goalies and how that would impact the shootout, because it makes sense. You always think that it's a slight advantage to have a guy who catches with the wrong hand for that exact reason. Like someone comes down and on breakaway, they're not, they're going to try to put a high blocker, and LT is just going to grab it out of the air. So that's crazy.
That's something I always tried to point out in warm-up playing hockey when we were younger. If there was a southpaw goalie, I think I only saw it like maybe 3 times. But there was a guy that we played against in college hockey that was southpaw, and every time during a warm-up, I'm like, hey, right-hand glove. Like, just keep that in mind, because that's just such a different thing to run down the barrel of. And you're 6 inches off the ice shot, low blocker, is not good anymore. It's just
I was
getting
gonna
gloved
say,
up.
you probably scored less against a southpaw because you'd rip
Yeah.
me low blocker all the time. And
That was
if you're a
that was
southpaw,
where
you're
I tried to
grabbing
shoot every single time, especially on you, and it worked. But you play a goalie with a right hand glove, it's just right in the mid every time.
it. Yeah. Okay, boys. Anything else to add before we wrap up here? We're at the 30-minute mark.
I got a quick one
200
that I'll let Adam talk here. Or he will right now.
237 minutes was the distance for the goals or whatever between the last time Canada got scored on
Oh, yeah.
with NHL players.
With NHL players.
Oh, yeah. The
Yes,
caveat.
with NHL
The
players.
caveat every single time, and with NHL players. Yeah, no, that's pretty crazy. And I was hoping they were going to hang on for another game, but whatever. I think it's like 12 wins in a row, so keep that train alive. But the last thing I want to point out, a player that stood out to me, you mentioned Marner and Celebrini standing out. Thomas Harley, like,
Yes.
put some respect on his name. Every time he plays in this best on best hockey, he stands out to me and looks even better. Like, similar in the way we were talking about Natchez is just slowly climbing up the peg for me. And maybe he gets like overshadowed because Heiskanen's on his team, but this guy's the real deal. He was so poised all night.
Yeah. He's objectively had kind of a down year, though. Like, like the people saying not to pick him on the team, myself included, so I guess I'll kind of defend my position, was based on his NHL season this year. Like, Four Nations aside, where he was great, as kind of a late call-up, he hasn't been good in the NHL this year. So, but to see him out there, best on best, so poised, he gets the goal. Like, yeah, I thought he was great all night.
Well, keep watching for him the rest of the tournament because he's only going to get more important here as Josh Morrissey continues to not play, because he's, after Makar, the next in line for puck mover.
Yeah, that's true. Anything else, Adam?
No, all good on my end. Other than go Canada go, obviously.
Okay. What I got to... Yeah, of course. That we got lots of games to go here. We've got France coming up over the weekend. That'll be a fun one to get up early and watch. What I wanted to say just before we wrap up, Case, is I get it. It's interesting to me, like, not how I didn't realize that we have so many sort of inside jokes as we do these podcasts, because I feel like we're saying stuff and then I'm having to like loop in Adam to be like, oh yeah, like we said that last episode. That's why. So maybe that's something to keep an eye on going forward, cut the inside jokes to get the listener involved, or maybe the 100%ers just, they know them all, but
I think you got to keep them in for the 100%ers. I'd say Adam typically is a 100%er. He's just been slacking the last 2 weeks.
That is true.
I missed the last 2 episodes. You gotta cut me some slack here.
Yeah, last 2 episodes, probably the two of the biggest guests that we've had in a while. You got to listen to those.
Other
ones.
than Adam, I mean.
Other than Adam, that's right. That's right. Okay, if that's everything, boys, we'll wrap it up. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening to episode 268 of the Boys in the Booth podcast. We will be back on Sunday to talk about the France game and to tee up what the semifinals and eventually the finals might look like for Team Canada and everybody else at the Olympics. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll talk to you very, very soon.